first night alone felt normal. Pizza box on the coffee table, headphones on, lights low. I even messaged my mum a dumb selfie to prove I wasn't throwing a party. She replied with a thumbs up and a reminder to lock the doors. I did, every one. At 12:03 a.m., I heard the scrape. Not footsteps, not pipes. It sounded like wood brushing wood, slow and deliberate, directly beneath the ceiling light. I pulled my headphones off and waited. The sound stopped. I convinced myself it was the house settling and tried to sleep. When I woke up, the couch had moved 5 inches to the left. Not dragged, not messy, just repositioned. The coffee table was rotated perfectly square with the rug. The lamp faced the hallway like it had been turned to watch. I laughed at first. I live with 2 prank-happy cousins. When my parents travel, muscle memory blamed them, even when I knew they weren't here. Then I stepped into the dining room and stopped. The doorway was wrong, where the hall used to continue straight. A narrow opening now angled toward the stairs. Clean edges, perfect paint, like it had always been there. But it hadn't. I checked the photos on the wall. My family at birthdays, holidays, smiling faces. Except now, faintly behind us, blurred and half-formed, stood a tall figure in every frame. Hands folded, head bowed, facing the house. That's when I knew this wasn't random. The second night, the dragging returned. Slower, heavier. It traced a route through the rooms, circling furniture that had shifted again. The layout now curved, guiding me whether I wanted to follow or not. I tried to leave the next morning. The front door opened onto the laundry room. My mouth went dry. I turned around. The kitchen now opened into the garage, which led into the guest bedroom. The house had folded inward on itself, a clever maze I hadn't agreed to enter. My phone had signal, but every message I sent failed the moment it left my keyboard. By midnight, the footsteps were close enough to vibrate the floorboards. They followed the path the house had made, always stopping just short of where I stood, like something rehearsing. And then the attic hatch appeared in the ceiling above me. We never had an attic hatch. A thin pull cord swayed gently. Dust drifted down as if someone had opened it. Moments before I noticed. Beneath it, a circle of furniture had formed, a careful clearing, a stage. I remembered what my grandmother used to say years ago, back when she lived here. You must thank the keeper before you abandon a home, she whispered once, her fingers tracing protective circles on the windows. Old houses don't like being forgotten. I found her journal in my parents' room, tucked under the mattress like it had waited for me. One line, underlined 3 times. Dismiss the guardian, or it will choose. The house wasn't haunted. It was loyal, and loyalty curdles when ignored. Tonight, the dragging didn't stop at the edge of the circle. Something climbed the walls instead, slow and careful, as if learning the shape of its new surroundings. The air filled with the scent of old linen and extinguished candles. The temperature didn't drop, but everything felt reverent. A presence unfolded behind me. Not violent, not rushed, patient. The photos on the wall updated again. This time the figure stood closer, clearer. Its hands rested gently on my shoulders in every frame. I understood then. The house wasn't making room for a stranger. It was preparing me for inheritance. The hatch creaked open fully. Warm breath brushed the back of my ear. Stay, it murmured, with the voice of every night the house had ever sheltered someone. And the doors all clicked shut in perfect unison. The first call came while I was brushing my teeth. My phone buzzed on the bathroom counter. Screen glowing my name, my number, the exact same selfie background. For one surreal second, I wondered if I'd somehow butt-dialed myself across time. I answered. My own voice whispered, "Don't hang up." I froze, toothbrush trembling against my lip. "It's dark," it said, my inflection, my breaths, my panic. "You left me here again." "I'm not joking," I said, Who is this? Silence, then soft and wounded. The hallway by the old mirror. The crack you tried to hide with that dumb candle because you were scared of the draft. My stomach tightened. No one knew about that candle, not even my sister. I can't get out, it pleaded. Please don't do this again. The line died. I checked every room. No one. No windows open. Just the quiet, ordinary creak of an old apartment night settling into stillness. I told myself it was a prank, an echo, a trick of nerves. Then it called again. This time, from the kitchen. I could hear the faint hum of my refrigerator through the receiver, synchronized with the real sound behind me. You promised you wouldn't leave me alone, my voice said, breaking. You said it after the night in the bathroom, remember? The blood on the tile that wasn't yours? I swallowed. I didn't remember any blood. I'm standing by the spare door, it continued. The one you never opened. It's still locked, like you want me trapped. My phone screen flickered. On it, a live reflection of my kitchen showed a shadow at the edge. Human. Familiar. Too familiar. I turned slowly. Nothing. But the shadow on the screen shifted closer. Follow the creaking, it instructed gently. You always liked knowing where I was. The calls kept coming, guiding me further, into rooms I swore I'd never stepped into before. A narrow room between the pantry and bathroom. A linen closet that felt deeper than the wall allowed. Every space colder, quieter, like it had been waiting for my return. Each call carried memories that half fit my life. Some real, some warped. You remember crying at the stairwell window because no one showed up to your 12th birthday, it whispered. I never had a stairwell birthday. You hated the red dress. The one you wore when he said you weren't enough. That one I did remember, but I never told anyone. The mirrors started lying. I'd lift my hand, and my reflection would hesitate a heartbeat before copying me. I'd blink, and it would hold my stare a beat too long, like someone trying to imitate human instinct from memory. Then came the final call. It didn't whisper. It spoke calmly, comfortably, confident. I'm not trapped, my voice said. My chest tightened. Then what are you? A soft inhale. My exact laugh. I'm the version you abandoned. The bathroom mirror rippled slightly. The reflection stepped forward an inch without me moving. You kept the happy parts, it continued. I kept the silence, the memories you buried, the nights you refused to remember. You called it healing. I call it exile. My reflection smiled before I did. You're not trying to get out, I realized. No, it said gently. I'm trying to come home. The air thickened. I felt a pressure behind my eyes, like gravity folding inward. I just need you to step closer, it murmured, so I can remember how it feels to be real. The mirror surface shimmered like breathing glass. And you, my voice asked sweetly. You can finally rest. My phone slipped from my hand and shattered on the tile. In the mirror, I reached toward me first, and somewhere behind the wall, a phone began to ring, my name glowing on the screen. The lullaby started at 11:47 p.m. I know the exact time because my phone was face up beside me, glowing faintly in the dark like it wanted to bear witness. At first I thought the sound was part of a dream, a gentle wavering hum creeping through the floorboards, soft as breath against my ear. Then my skin prickled. I knew that tune. My mother used to sing it when thunder rattled the windows, and I cried myself hoarse. A slow, circling melody with no words. No one else ever heard it. She never recorded it. After she died, the song vanished like it had been buried with her. So why was it floating up from the crawl space beneath my bedroom? The house was silent. Otherwise, no TV, no wind. Just that familiar hum, threading itself through the darkness with aching precision. I sat up. Mom? I whispered, feeling ridiculous and terrified all at once. The humming continued, slightly louder now, as if pleased I'd finally acknowledged it. I grabbed my phone flashlight and followed the sound down the hallway and into the kitchen. It flowed beneath the old pantry door. the one that hadn't been opened since before I outgrew my first pair of shoes. The latch felt cold, unwelcoming, like it resented being touched. When I pulled it open, a stale breath of earth and dust rolled out, carrying the smell of damp stone and something faintly sweet. The lullaby echoed clearly now, rising from the narrow ladder that sank into darkness below. Against the wall beside the opening sat a small pile of objects that didn't belong here. My cracked baby monitor, a faded blue blanket with the corner chewed, where I used to suck it for comfort, a wooden rattle I hadn't seen since I was old enough to remember losing it. My heartbeat knocked hard against my ribs. I didn't bring these down here. I didn't bring anything down here. The humming shifted, coaxing, almost approving. I descended the ladder slowly, bare feet brushing cobwebs and cold air that tasted like old rain. The beam of my phone light trembled as the crawl space opened wider than I ever remembered it could be. At its center was a chalk circle, perfect, unbroken, except for the lower edge where the lines had faded thin and pale. Within it lay tufts of blackened herbs, small glass beads, and a dried sprig tied with red thread. I recognized the crooked star drawn inside the boundary from an old sketch in my mother's discarded notebooks. I never understood it before. Now the lullaby swelled. The sound didn't soothe. It stabilized, repeated, held the air taut. I stepped closer, and my foot brushed across the line where the chalk had worn away. The melody fractured for half a second. The ground beneath the circle shifted. A whisper coiled upward from the soil. Low, wet, starving. "Please," it rasped, voice splitting like roots through stone. Cold pinpoints bloomed along my arms. My mother's hum sharpened, urgent now, bending the sound tighter around the circle, trying to force something back into stillness. Memory bloomed like a bruise. My mother kneeling here years ago, her hands trembling, murmuring that same tune through gritted teeth while my younger self cried above, alone and unheard. Not comfort, protection, a chant, a binding endearment taught by women before her, whispered through generations so the thing beneath this house would stay asleep and fed with silence instead of flesh. The whisper turned into many. "You came back," they breathed. Voices small and eager. "You're old enough now. You remember our song." A clawed impression pushed up beneath the dirt, distorting the chalk circle inward where the line had broken. The lullaby faltered. I backed away, pulse slamming into my throat as the humming dissolved into broken notes. "I thought you stopped singing," the voices said. "She didn't teach you the rest. She thought love would be enough." The ground split. Darkness poured like thick ink, and inside it moved something too thin, too layered, too patient. I remembered the way she always looked exhausted when she sang, the nights she never quite slept, the way she told me, smiling weakly, "If you ever hear this after I'm gone, don't follow it." The lullaby wasn't a memory. It was a warning left unfinished. And as the thing beneath the circle began to rise, the hum faded into choking silence, leaving me holding a melody that was never meant to end. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.